Dyslexia. 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 Now, for those of you who don't know, that is not how you sound out the word dyslexia, and that is definitely not how you spell it out. It's actually should be sounded out like this, which I believe goes Dyslexia, and it's spelled Dyslexia. Now, when a dyslexic doesn't know how to spell a word, they go and ask someone, how do I spell this word? Most of the time, the response is, you should know this by now, or just go sound it out yourself. Now, as you can see, that did not work at all. And the reason for that is that when the dyslexic is learning their phonics, they're not taught the correct way. The way the dyslexic is taught in school is for the normal brain, but the dyslexic brain is not normal. All right, sorry. So when the dyslexic goes out and tries to do this, it doesn't work. And there are some ways to try to fix this, which are in classes. I've taken 2 classes myself, one in 8th grade and one in 9th grade. When I went into 8th grade, I had a lot of trouble reading. I could barely read an elementary school level book at 5th grade in 30 minutes. I'd look at a page, it'd take me about 30 minutes to read this page, and I still wouldn't understand anything that was on it. And when I got out of this class in 8th grade, I was starting to be able to read middle school level books, which was a big improvement for me. And then jump ahead to when I got out of the class in 10th grade, I was able to read a high school level book. I was able to read a high school level page in a book in 5 minutes, which that is a big jump from being able to read a 5th grade level book in 30. Now, this is what a dyslexic sometimes sees when reading. Luckily, this is not what I see. I see something more along the lines of this. As you can see, the words, I'm pointing out word. The letters from one word will get switched from the word it should be and glued onto the end of another. What I also see is the spaces between, like on a page of a book. I will follow the lines down the page and not really focus on what the book is, but I'll just follow like patterns on the page of the book. And yeah. Gosh. Now, the reason for this might be because of the font that it is reading. And the reason for this might be because of the font. It might be because a dyslexic brain just messed up. It's just a part of being dyslexic. And I had a problem not that long ago, probably about a month ago, when I was standing in the lunch line trying to get food. And I was walking along, and then I see a sign, "Try our humans, $1." I stared at it. Why is the school selling humans? And why for $1? That seems underpriced. So I continued staring at the sign, and then I realized that the sign did not say, "Try our humans." It in fact said, "Try our hummus." Very different things. 2 very different things, yeah. So, some of the fonts that could help a dyslexic include Arial, Cambry font, and 20th century Goth. And I'm sorry for all you font fanatics out there, but Comic Sans is one of them. Sorry about that. And this guy by the name of Christian Bohr is dyslexic. And so what he did, he decided that since he was having such a hard time reading forms and filling them out, that he was going to put his graphic design skills to the test and create Dyslexia font. This is what it looks like. I remember seeing this font and thinking, wow, this is so much easier to read. And the reason for that is the font adds on parts of the letter that normally isn't there in a normal font. Like with the L. In a normal L in a normal font, it would look more like an uppercase I. So he adds on this little part right here so you can tell it's an L, which is helpful with my last name being Willsey, 2 L's, but sometimes I'd look at it and see 3. This helped with that. Also with the V and the W. Sometimes a dyslexic brain can just cut off part of it and see the W as a V or the V as a W. Works either way. But with this font, it clears up a lot of things because of what the guy did. He cut off corners on some and made some of the bases thicker and made parts of it thinner. And this made it a lot easier to read. And the thing is, some people don't have access to the teachers that can teach them how to teach them how the phonics works, or show them those fonts. And a lot of those people end up in prison because they don't know their basic phonics and facts, which means a lot of people, they don't learn what they're supposed to, and they end up in prison. Over 53% of inmates in this one prison ended up having dyslexia, and they didn't know their basic phonics. So a lot of those people, they ended up in prison because they believed that they could not amount to anything because no one could teach them how to learn. They thought, I can't amount to anything. But this is not true. In fact, the dyslexic brain has abilities that the normal brain does not. There's a wider peripheral view, meaning they can see farther on both sides, which I can do. Pretty cool. There's also some dyslexics can see 3D models inside their head and turn them inside out and backwards. And they can also recognize patterns a lot quicker than others and be able to recognize the error in patterns. This means that the dyslexic can succeed, but they have to succeed in other ways. So just because you're dyslexic, don't think that you can't amount to anything. Don't think that you can't succeed to anything, because you can succeed. You're just going to have to find other ways to succeed. Thank you.